Hi, folks. Nick Tuckert here with the Historical Fencing Guild. Pardon my rather odd arrangement. It is 97 degrees outside and about 80 million% humidity. So I actually swam into the dungeon today to bring this video to you. I am not muted and we should be ready to roll. So that's awesome. Hi. Thank you for the like. Hi, folks. The Historical Fencing Guild's live stream is a proud member of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. There are more shows than this, but folks, take a look on this and screenshot it, whatever. There's some great things going on. My personal favorites, and I'll be biased here, is never mind the furthermore. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in the morning. That 10 to 12 slot, 10 to 11:30, but we usually keep them talking, is a great chance to meet great authors and other creators. It's sort of like the root of all good in the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. So look them up, look me up. We're going to go. The Historical Fencing Guild is also brought to you by the Simple Sword and the Fighting Axe, both upright this time. Glad to I made these to help folks find their way into the fencing fields, learn how to fight without having to pay a lot or be gate kept. So please look into these. I keep them literally as cheap as Amazon will let me, and they are both available through Amazon at www.amazon.com/author/Nicholas Tuckert. I trust you all would tell me if I am muted. And of course, by my wonderful Patreon members who I couldn't do it all without. I'm planning actually some special things for them, but we're going to get on. We've got some comments rolling in, and I love it. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to subscribe. Bled Thesis, hello, everyone. Hi, Bled Thesis. How you doing? We got Foxy and Elric Melbourne. Hi. He says, Master Tuckert, I've ordered my swords. When they get here in a couple of months, I will be making my channel's first video to showcase them for you and the guild. Well, then, your best bet is to, if you can work social media, join the Historical Fencing Guild's public group on Facebook. If not, maybe you can email me the or send me the link here, and we can try to get some eyes behind what you're doing. I don't mind punting it back up to my group because a lot of people have given me support, and I love a chance to give it back. I am so glad. I got a letter. I got some messages from Elric, and it was just a wonderful time. Hi, Cindy Kep, folks. We're talking to Cindy Kep, and if you hear me talking and you think I seem schizophrenic, you have to turn on the live feed function that shows the comments. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I am so glad to hear that. We have a lot to discuss today. We're going to be going a little far afield on some topics, but I've got some stuff I'm excited about, some stuff I want to share with you, and some other things. Now, I don't know, again, on the whole length and speed of the show. I had to do some medical stuff today, not just for my son, and I still have my medications and heat don't like each other. So we're going to work with that. Hence my happy Hobbit kind of mask that didn't work right, but makes a great do-rag. Alrighty. First off, I need a drink, guys. I'm sorry. It's still 80 plus in my lovely broadcaster, but with the headset rig, I can turn my ceiling fan on. Yes. Hold on. I'll lose my ability to talk, but I'll let you see it. Yep. This is actually, it was meant to be one of those pull-up elastic masks, but was too small for me, and I just felt like I was being waterboarded. But it makes a really great bandana, which, as you can see, I'm already sweating through. But yeah, guys, okay. This is a great time to talk. We have a lot coming down the pipe. No, it's flumpy. It shouldn't knock down. Oh, the fan? Yeah. It just, reality is warping behind. I'm only a fan of fans that are not near knights. I do not blame you one bit. That's actually why I'm very careful with my camera angle, to keep flashing lights from being on this for folks like you and like I used to be. Um, like I said, historical fencing is for everyone, folks. So if if there's something I can do to help, I double check. I actually spoke with Cindy quite a bit to make sure that the lights on my little rig weren't too distracting. I can actually unplug it, but then it gets hard to tell when the thing is actually on. And since I bought a fancy headset, I want to be able to see that it's working. Got to get the perks, you know. Life's too short not to look like a cybernetically enhanced swordmaster. Because who doesn't want to be a cybernetically enhanced swordmaster? Now, because Elric's in the commentary and he's relatively new, and I apologize if I'm assuming, but I'm going by the name you're showing. Never hesitate to interrupt me with questions or whatever. I love to get into them. You know, anything I can help with. We have some stuff coming up. I'm hoping to finally shoot that buckler video this weekend, knock on plastic, because we've just been bombarded by rain, and I need to do that. The sudden with lances being pushed. I have seen wheelchair lancing, like wheelchair jousting. I have seen extensive wheelchair fencing, and it's something due to my situation I tend to keep track of. The advances are just brilliant. The way they're making it, it's really letting folks be part of a great sport, and it's actually allowing competition between intermobile people. Our absolute prayers go out to Foxy and Thesis, who are very near a fire, and I hope that things settle down. And yeah, I wear my broad hat when I go into any of the big box stores. I used to feel bad because a gentleman takes his hat off, but they're big enough that there are birds flying around, and the oh god, I really smudged these up. The fluorescent lights mess with my eyes still, so yeah, you have to be careful. Um, it also makes me want to throw salt around because I'm an old Supernatural fan. But okay, back on topic, folks. Which I'm gonna try to be. We'll see how long that lasts. Um, like I said, I have a lot of footage that's going to be coming down the pipe. The Patreon members, I put the secret video of Manda receiving the glaive up through you guys. It's been a while, so check it out if you want to see it ahead of everybody else. I'll probably be. Is it our topic off topic? Yeah, pretty much. Sometimes I have a real tight framework, and other times I don't. I'm burning inside. My heart is. Well, Cindy says that's why I fight fire with fire. Oh, I'm burning inside, and my heart is crying. Fire with fire. I don't want to lose this flame and desire. Now, see, my problem is it for me. For me, it's like going down in a burning ring of fire. Anyway, I am not going to do that, as both the ghosts of Johnny Cash and William Shatner's career will rise up and try to kill me. Wow. Ooh, apparently I'm as spicy as the Chinese I was eating today. This is going to be a good one. You haven't named them this, Bob and Jill. A pair of birds that live there. Yeah, we saw some birds today at one of our local WalMarts. Actually, it was the Meyer. Having a wonderful time pinching fresh produce, and that was just so anti-capitalist amusement that I just delighted. I just sat there and laughed. Mind you, I was half crazed from the heat, so it helps. But thesis. This is one of those where I will always stop when this topic comes up. He says, Johnny Cash version of Nine Inch Nails' Hurt is better than the original, in my opinion. I'm hearing what you're saying, and I want to say that you're grotesquely undervaluing the Johnny Cash version of Nine Inch Nails. This is hurt. Johnny Cash is hurt because it's no longer Nine Inch Nails, the song. I don't care. It has been seized and taken by a superior performer in every aspect. And I have no beef with Nine Inch Nails, but Hurt is one of the late night theme songs that runs through my mind. It is one of my all time favorite songs, and quite possibly one of the best performed ballad. It's such an emotive traveling tale that I will always stand by it. And that is one of the things where I talk about there are some covers that are better than the originals. And well, not just his voice, it's the experience behind it. Hurt is a song that can't. There are some songs, and I'm going to sound biased, but they don't sound right coming out of a young person because there needs to be some scruff to the voice. You have to feel the experience on your ear. This is why I don't like a lot of auto-tuned, polished stuff. I'm an old blues guy, I'm an old jazz guy, I'm an old country guy, and an old rock guy. There's a place where all these genres of music start to overlap, and you find it somewhere around 3 a.m., and the songs often involve trains and broken hearts and people who hitchhike and catch rides with ghosts. That's where it just and that is what I affectionately call Nick music. And we are way off topic tonight, but I'm okay with that. And if it ever bothers you, don't be afraid to pipe in and say, Nick, can you recenter? And I will. But yeah, now I want to talk some things because one thing I'm really excited about is the first game I ever produced was a game called Melee. I designed it to be a tactical sim for actually at the time SCA commanders, where they could use chessboards or big gridded boards and practice strategies and tactics with units that roughly resemble the authorizations that the fighting styles that their individuals might have. Oh yes, yes. We talked about that a little bit today. Thesis about Made of Scars, and a dear friend of mine passed fairly recently, and that was one of them. Oh, I told my friend about sword, but wasn't sharp enough to understand. Neither did he understand the point of the. Well, did you pommel him with information? Because sometimes that just isn't their forte, Cindy. I love Cindy Cap. Cindy Cap is one of my favorite people in the world. Now, getting back on, it is 100 degrees out, and the world is opening up. Please, one of those, if you get nothing out of this today, please be careful. This heat can kill you. I nearly died of heat exhaustion. Mistreatment nearly put me into shock, and John Miner saved my life because he's an EMT. That's if sometimes people ask, friends, and why you put up with stuff. Aside from the fact he's an old dear friend, he did save my life, and I hold that heavy. We have a history, John and I, and it is clever and it is interesting. And that story did not go well, so I'll tell it someday, but it's not really one for over the channel. So what are we doing? I have, of course, my bottle of my usual Go Juice. I also have a new bottle that's still cold of Powerade Zero White Cherry. White Cherry. Now, I've been building my stuff up. I want to see how this tastes. I figure while I've got you here, we'll see if it's any good. Wow. That's one I would drink. Oh yeah, this is my elixir. This is one I would drink if nothing else was available. But it's got a kind of funny wing and a funny aftertaste, and it tastes a bit like like they dipped in an old cherry fruit roll-up. It is not exactly my favorite thing in the world. Oh, Thesis, did I show you? Did you guys see the video I did? That might have been a little before you guys started watching, about making a nearly free fencing target. If not, yep, pillow with the large button on the couch is where I was. Oh, I love my group. That's where I was gonna go. But I actually made because what happened is I saw a company that made a wall-mounted fencing target system, and it costs triple digits. And I made one out of a garage door. You know, the garage ball you hang from the ceiling to let you know when you've pulled your car in far enough. Some closed cell foam, a bit of rigid cardboard, and a lot of duct tape. It can be done. You don't necessarily need a 3-dimensional PEL, especially when you're starting. You need a small one. Okay, yeah. The Wing Chun man, if that's what you're talking about, is a wonderful trainer for that. But it almost seems criminal to beat one up using most training weapons. Well, yeah, use it like a Christmas tree. I love it. Okay. And this is the kind of people I travel with, guys. It was funny. I was just talking about how much I miss my old subscription to Kung Fu Tai Chi magazine. I got some great information. They used to throw DVDs in there that always amused me. But I really haven't seen a HEMA style or a Western martial arts style of that kind of magazine. And I'm going to have to see if they're out there or if it's just one of those that, with the magazines not being as popular, it got to test my reflexes. I have to drink this because I opened it. It's trying to be something. It's just not getting there, folks. I could probably fix it, but yeah, the Wing Chun Long Pole literally was a life-changing article, and if you have a chance to find it, if you want the best quick speed intro to spear, very much what I base my version on. Wing Chun Long Pole is just fabulous. It's really easy. You scroll till you find the most angry looking geeky guy ever to walk the earth holding a big long stick. Oh, it's great fun. Oh, this is. I need some of my regular go juice. Yeah, maybe I'll squirt my regular go juice into that and see if I can fix it. And to those that ask, this is my regular go juice right here. I am not sponsored by Great Value, but honestly, I would love to be the guy who gets sponsored by Great Value. Great Value, Wally World, reach out to me. And yeah, my fingers are all beat up. That happens when I'm fixing things. And I'm always fixing things. Okay. Pulling things back just a bit. Oh, good. Glad the highway's open. I am sweating and itchy. That's okay. I don't know if you guys know this, but a while ago, a couple weeks ago, has it been a couple weeks yet? A week? I was part of the Hybrids, the Sons of Gods crowdfunding. And we did the Hybrids role-playing game. I wrote it. I love it. You can still find it on Indiegogo. It's a great program. But yeah, it made it. It was a wonderful experience. Shout out to Luke Stone at Luke Stone Studios, who helped make this was his world, his comic, and he let me play around in it. And I got to run the game on a channel called Red Valkyrie, which is a comic review channel and other things. I will say right now, it is a much more adult tone and verbiage than I keep here, so be advised. I try to keep this stuff as kid safe as I can without saying it's kiddie for YouTube issues. but they asked me to come back and run a weekly game for them. And I said yes because I'm a sucker. So on Wednesday nights, I will, for the time being, be running a game. That's a good start. I'm glad it's open. It's kind of on fire, but open with. I've been caught in wildfires before. It is not fun. We got in the middle of a forest fire in, I want to say, Yellowstone. It was a bad time many years ago. But anyway, I'm running this system. I did not write the system. I've had nothing to do with the system. But this is Basic Fantasy RPG, and this is basically 3.5 if it was written by the folks who started like I did on the basic version of D&D. Streamlined, simple, old-fashioned, easy to read, easy to play, and they everything is free to download. So anybody who wants to support the gaming community that much is going to get shout out from me. So basicfantasy.org, you can literally download everything for free, and the books are cheap. Yeah, I absolutely love it. So if you want to see what I'm doing there Wednesday nights at 8:30, I think there's some time flux. You guys know how it is when other people are running. Gaming will happen in the near future. I mean, locally too. And I'm going to show you guys something. What lives in here? Well, if you saw these. Now they don't know it, but I will give them an option to have me roll with my character creation dice. These dice are only used for character creation, and they are my version of simplifying things. Why do I love these dice for character creation? Well, I found these many, 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 many years ago. 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. There is no 1, 2, or 3 on these particular dice. Because I don't believe you should have to deal with negatives in a fantasy world. But why, Nick? This is a fairly non-fictional kind of show. This is a reasonable show. I mean, usually you're pushing your books, right? You're not pushing your game books. Well, Melee, but Melee's about this, so it fits. I'm talking about this because a lot of people get into what we do because of Dungeons and Dragons and RPGs. Game of Thrones is bringing a lot of people in. The Witcher, Skyrim, video games, and standard RPGs pull people in because they want to do that. What does that mean to the Western practitioner or Eastern? What that means is we, as people who know what we're talking about, in the right situation with the right, DM, GM, storyteller, whatever, have an opportunity to use real world knowledge to enhance our game and look at things in game to enhance our interest in real world. It's a synergy that makes life more interesting. See, one of my big goals when I found the book that started me playing RPGs and stuff alongside of the road during the Satanic Panic is I want to be able to do what my character could do, or at least as much. And so this is what got me into a lot of the collectible skills that I have, and I really do. I consider myself a geek who it's the difference between a nerd and a geek is a nerd is somebody who fixates on knowledge, usually academic, sciences, hard science, things like that. Usually, a geek usually is someone who collects memorabilia associated with merchandising or a special interest. Train comic books, whatever. I am a geek who collects skills, or a nerd who is collects skills. It's an overlap, and I got into it a lot because I wanted to do. That's where I learned. If it wasn't for a channel called Unpopular Culture and their D&D charisma saves, I probably wouldn't have the limited knowledge of D&D I do about D&D. I probably also wouldn't have tried to play over Discord when I had the chance a couple years ago. Well, exactly. Yeah. Kind of like both. If you are somebody who's looking for an entry point, and that's why I grabbed this, because it's almost like I'm all about building people up into my interests, and they all seem to overlap. Uh, you can download all these for free. So you download the book and look through it. It's almost like if I were going to have somebody play regular 3.5, I'd almost rather have them play this first, because a lot of the crazier feats and silliness isn't there. So you get like the simple important parts of the engine that go, and then everything else is attachments. So yeah, really, if you're looking to get into D&D or something, look into that. It is probably my favorite engine that I did it right. My mood shifts between OD&D with my good old fashioned reverse AC, because that's where I started. Basic fantasy and something called Castles and Crusades for your non-standard D&D pleasure. Usually, if I'm running actual D&D, I tend to run for like D20. I'm looking to see if I can see my copy. I'm actually a big. Hold on. I had a stuff slide. Big fan of their modern system for being more streamlined at D20. But that's why I made hybrids. I wanted something that was, you don't need not nearly as much maths. And if you want even less, again, consider hybrids. I think you'll enjoy it. Hybrids is a great system, and I'm going to be doing a lot more with that. But they're different systems, but you can almost see the overlap. It's really cool. I don't like maths. I am technically considered a polymath, but I don't like actual excessive mathematics. Partially because I'm dyslexic, dyscalculic too. Numbers, especially, like words come out aphasic from me often, but numbers scramble. A lot of times people will put way too much backstory, and I like to say get a character framework at a little bit, because what makes a character interesting should happen during play. And that's the thing. By playing a simpler rules light engine like hybrids, like basic fantasy, I have some other games I can send you and recommend. You can pull the math down. I love Logic. One of my favorite gaming sessions, I was DMing. I actually ended up laying back on the couch, eyes closed. I didn't need my dice because the players were smart enough, and what they were talking about was all so step by step. Very rarely did I have to throw a single die. It was wonderful too. Uh, um, it's funny. During to pass, and I believe in admitting your weaknesses. I failed algebra in college 6 times. Um, Before I got a prof who went, "Well, how long have you been dyscalculic?" And I like, what? His name was George, and I can't remember his last name because we only had it mentioned the first day. Uh, he was like, "We're all adults here. We don't need that elementary stuff." And he graded, you got 80% for doing the process right, and then you lost 20 if there was an arithmetic error. And I actually carried around, it's back here somewhere, a whiteboard that was about 2.5 by 3 feet wide. In each problem, I would write it up in different colors, really big, so that the numbers couldn't move around on the page. And then I'd carefully copy it all down. That's how I work around my problems. You stop, you go, something isn't working. Let's try a different angle. So, yeah, don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to try new systems. Uh, and I'm planning some things with gaming on my other channel. Believe it or not, a lot of you don't know this. I have a channel that's just simply the Nicholas Talkert channel on YouTube. I'm trying to get it to let me change uh the address name, get the custom URL, and it just isn't letting me. There's some kind of problem with it. It kind of went dormant for a while because I put a lot of focus here. But yeah, you're going to see it overlap between here and there, and it's going to be really good. But getting back, when you understand weapons, you understand what they're for, their strengths, their weaknesses, you can prepare better for the scenarios you encounter in a game. And then from that mentality, you can use that to an extent to prepare better for scenarios you encounter in life. A good DM's practice is going to be, it's not just, okay, you went in, it can be 3 a.m. especially. Well, I went in and I bonked a goblin over the head with my stick. Okay, roll for it. Yeah, you bonked the goblin over the head. What are you doing? I want to take his stuff. He has a bag of like mouse heads and uh stale cheese and a rock it thought was shiny. I'll take the rock. Oh, okay, cool. And we roll down the line. CityCap says, I was considered the math specialist on most campuses where I taught because my science specialization, science equals math for a lot of folks. Most elementary teachers were reading specialists. Yeah, you'll find that a lot. Elementary teachers usually tend to lean more towards the academic side. And the problem with math teachers, say for two I've encountered, is they like math. They got into it because math is something very comfortable. They took it because they enjoyed it. But the mental framework of someone who is naturally good at math doesn't necessarily the process and the thinking doesn't transfer well to those who aren't naturally gifted at math. Um, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Sadly, my math skills failed in division, and when math alphabet got involved, I was toast. That happens to some folks. I found certain forms uh, of algebra difficult, largely when I couldn't find a way to tie it to anything. If I could make it a story problem, I could do it. Thank you. Cindy Cap says, I could do math easily, but I didn't understand math until I had to teach it because I had to do task analysis to break it down. You just gave me one of my favorite all-time segues back to what we do on this channel, back to what I've done on my life. This is the kind of sentence people need to write on the wall. Task analysis and understanding. I've had people ask me, how do I get to be a better swordsman? That is so simple. Not easy, but simple. The way to become a better swordsman is to teach it to someone else. Because you have to be able to pull your ego out of things. You have to be able to analyze how to do it. Understanding the processes forces you to constantly revisit fundamentals. And that's why mastery isn't mastery. I'm going to tell you guys, God, and it happens to me all the time. Mastery does not come from pursuing the secret styles or the fastest draw. Mastery comes from a complete absorption and appreciation of the fundamentals. Mastery is not a noun, it is a verb. It's like love. Love is an action. I love my family. I love people. I manifest that by helping them and caring and whatever. I know I look ridiculous right now. I got this little poof of where you can see where my hairline's was, but that's okay. I love you guys. Mastery is the same thing. I'm sorry, I have to move this over because there's a bit of cadence with the path on my background, and I don't want to flash a family photo and have somebody try to copyright strike me for it because there will be problems. But and that's what we're all about. Now, that's why you know probably my favorite Bruce Lee quote, and I always pardon any verbiage errors. Do not fear the man who knows 10,000 kicks. Fear the man who does one kick 10,000 times. And that's why I tell you guys, drill. Well, and okay, D&D is a wonderful challenge for DMs. And I'm very much a forever DM because I very rarely get to play. I run games, I create games, I play test games, I tweak games, I write, illustrate, and hawk games. I rarely get to play the games I create. It's an odd tragedy for what I do, and boy, am I channeling Mr. Smee right now. But uh, that being said, it is hard on a DM who doesn't understand physics or doesn't understand sword mastery. And one of these days down the line, I want to write a book about applying swordsmanship to fantasy writers and gamers because I see tropes that really just they put my teeth on edge. They don't want to drink this. This doesn't taste good. Yeah, it's not bad, but that wraparound tastes very much like the memories of budget fruit roll-ups where you peel it off the plastic. Good evening, John Miner. We were just talking about you. Because you missed the discussion I found and mostly restored the video that was lost on my phone, and I've had it up for the patrons for a week now. I want to give it probably another week so that they have a shot to see it, and then I will just un I'll change the publishing on it and it will be revealed, and then folks can watch it and have a good time. But so that's good. Yeah, as a DM, please research as much of whatever setting. And I'm using DM, GM, whatever. If you're running a military campaign, a rudimentary understanding of firearms is probably a good idea. If you're running a fantasy campaign, knowing the names and actions of swords, can't hurt either. The more you know, the better you can present to your players. And the more, if you do it right, they want to sword fight. And the more sword fighters we have, the more we have a chance to make things better. That's what we're all about here, folks, is building up ourselves and each other. Now, I will admit that I came kind of skating in. Hello, Sharon. Pardon the beep. I have to check the messages. I came in skating because we went out and we got my son his second shot. And I spent a good deal of the afternoon just being there for the little guy because that's what dads do. So I'm a little behind. Normally, I have already done my Purple Heart Armory, but seeing John made me. Los wanted to ask you a question. Yeah, you know what? If you have a question about axes, John, you can just tell them they can look up The Fighting Axe by Nick Talker. Here you go. Hopefully blunt. Well, certainly not the sharpest tool in the shed. But there were some things I wanted to mention that I saw in the deal of the day last time I looked, and I want to hop back on and double check Oh yes. Uh, to the people on the Historical Fencing Guild. Now this is a pricey. This is one of those pricey but cool things. I showed that they have this really nice leather inserted leather face buckler. That is beautiful, and it is fairly discounted. So I really, if you're a more high end shopper, that might really serve you well. God, what was it? Oh, they have scent stoppers and longsword guards still. So if you're running the Rawling system, this is an obscenely good price for these two items. If you're looking to marginalize your uh so if you want to expand the riggings you have for the Rawling synthetic swords, Night what is it? Not Knight's Ridge. Oh, Red Dragon Armory. I think it's Knightsbridge. It's gone by. It's a nylon sword system, and I should do a whole video. If you guys want me to do a whole video to that modular sword system, talking about it, I'll dig up the pieces I have, and we can talk about that because it's a really neat approach if you're looking for a little more flex on initial impact. Another thing I wanted to talk about very early in the broadcast of Fine Gentlemen, and I'm saying gentlemen by the orientation of the character that he's using as a call sign, Elric Menabone. But I'm saying that wrong. Probably, yay, speech impediments happen. But he's actually looking into tweaking some custom variants of the side sword, which I have right here. Now, if he's going to do variants of this, I'm really looking forward. I bug you guys. I say tweak your armor to fit you. And the fact that he's taking what I commissioned originally, which is this guy, there's a version with a pommel, and he's having it changed to fit him. I don't know if he's making it bigger or shorter or narrower. I had thought about ordering it a bit narrower because this is still a little wide for what's left of my hands. But I'm really looking forward to seeing how that goes. And I love seeing when folks come up with things and they reach out and they tweak and then they talk to me and ask me what I think about it. I love having that kind of interaction because anything you can give back to this system, it just stalks and everyone benefits. Uh, Guys, I'm gonna thumbs down this one. Sorry, I love Powerade usually, but this is I'm not gonna throw the bottle away because I'll use it to make more of my mix and drop everything off the side of my table. Oh. Ah. And Tommy runs into the hanging axe at Al's Tavern. No, John. Tommy does not run into the hanging axe at Al's Tavern. Johnny ran in. I'm sorry, Johnny. Tommy ran into the wyvern's head at Al's Tavern that was bisected by a rather large axe and some other gory attribute I'm not going to give away because that's for later publications. John got to game around a couple times in my universe and had a grand old time, and at some point it will be published. Hey, you know what? People hear me better with these goofy things, and I don't have to worry about the copyright strikes if Mandy's phone rings or something. So yeah, the cybernetic uh, headphones. They do cats, but I haven't seen a flopped ear. If I saw a flopped ear, man, it'd be cringy, but I'd get tempted. Uh, and yeah, I'm glad you like that. We have a lot going. So I will be running that game. John, I want you to go here. John, you're an old school gamer. go to this website right here. You could download the basic fantasy books. I think you will absolutely love them. Uh, you're one of those people who want to talk about. No, I'm not getting. I always click that do you get third party because I have a Patreon and because I shill my stuff here. And occasionally John Miner sends me something cool that I review. The polearm review is coming, but Mandy's shoulder has to be in good enough shape for us to do it properly, in my opinion. The review, guys, come on. But we have a lot going on. So the let me see. I don't think there was anything else I wanted to mention other than some of the different rigs available through Purple Heart, which I might just order some to tinker with. Oh, it's tempting me to spend money, but I need to save it because I have some profound needs guild wise. I'm trying to save up because the list field has to be completely redone. And I have about 2 weeks to do it in, or at least start to get things rolling for when practices start back up. A lot of things got neglected over the pandemic out of necessity and my health. And SCA opens up 100%. I assume that's July 1st. Practices start today. Send that to James Robertson. Right, he had just gotten his steel rapier, and he was talking about joining the SCA. And you know what? Where's my notes? Where are my notes? You see, I usually have my little post-it notes of doom to write a note to myself. Well, here we go. We'll do this. I have a page of notes. Have I dealt with everything? Donald Reed, grip issues. I have a note for Donald Reed about grip issues, and I'm not sure what they're about. But SCA opens 100%. 7-1 practices start today. The SCA is very much an organization that varies chapter by chapter and geographically. And while I will not be rejoining them, I believe my wife's phrasing was over their dead body. I will happily encourage folks within the organization and help folks who want to, because you know what, John? I found you a keyboard with triple size keys, and I sent you the information. I thought I ordered you one. I really, if I didn't, I thought you got a plus size button keyboard. If not, we'll go there. Oh well, I'm glad I amused you, Sharon. I'm not quite sure what I did, but as long as people are laughing, I'm doing my job, folks. Okay. Now I know I'm a little low energy, so I kind of need to ramp it up a little bit. Whoo! John, you should have told me. I'll go back look through. You can find them usually under special needs keyboards, because usually they're pretty heftily built too. And that's not when I say special needs, it's because I know some people who don't have the fine muscle control to do it, or they have large hands like John's, so they could type easier. And look, this is my keyboard that the guild paid for with their donations so that I could keep writing books. That's why I am, amid my many other things, writing the Poor Swordsman's Guide to Arms and Armor, which, if you are a guild member, you get a secret link, a Patreon guild member, that is, a Patreon member, secret link to see it in process. So if that's something you guys are interested in, part of my process is neglecting things for long periods of time and then doing a huge amount of work and then neglecting them again. So This is swords. Let's talk about swords. Yeah, okay. But on the okay, cool. While we're talking swords, hey, you know what? I'm glad you enjoyed the banner. That is what we're about. And again, I remind people if you're new, one, please hit that like button. Believe it or not, even though all I do is teach a simplified Western martial art to people who might otherwise not have access to it, I have a lot of pushback from the algorithm because sometimes it's considered weapon content. So it's really important that you guys like and you share what we're doing and you subscribe. This isn't about me trying to reach some number goal or get something snazzy. This is about me just trying to keep afloat so that I can help other people. So thank you. But yeah, there's always banter. It's Friday night. If I wanted to do a serious, now this is how we're doing things, and I do videos like that from time to time. I usually don't do them live, but oh god, sorry, it's a little warm. We got it is hot right now, and we really, guys, thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoy it because this is meant to be a place where everyone can come together and regardless of what your background is, talk swords, ask questions, get a laugh, build each other up. Thanks for those likes, guys. It really does help. You know what? Thesis, hit me up. Maybe we'll talk shop, and every guy sit here with pizza and chit chat with our crazy friends. Toward the end of July, I will be missing an episode because it's Stef Mari's wedding. And Stef Mari and John are actually both real world guild members. If you dig back far enough, you'll actually find videos of them fighting in my backyard and different places. So it's really cool that I get to be part of them coming together as a family unit. I dig that stuff. I'm a big romantic. But I'll have some special materials ready for you guys. Trust me. I'll either do something a day off or I'll shoot you guys some special stuff. I take care of you. I got you, fam. Yay, singing. Yes, you won't be serious for long. Yeah, John, I try, but yeah. So we're going to. I just want to take a minute to shout out to Steve Clausen and remind him that the Hello Kitty Karambit does indeed exist. And no, I don't. Sanrio owns this. This is duct tape, guys. I'm not trying to rip anybody off. This was never sold or transferred. This lives right here where I can annoy people. But well, yeah, and that's my thesis makes a wonderful point when he says, "Truly the highlight of our week." Yay! I'm the highlight of somebody's week. Uh, let's see. I trained with John long before there was a guild. Uh, the fencing guild originally began officially as an organization. Uh, let's see. First year we were at, I want to say 07, 05, 07. I can figure it out if I talk to my wife, but because we had to have an organization name for the workshops I was holding, because I was holding without a name a workshop because I knew AmpGuard people wanted to talk swords with SCA people, and I had some people from one of the local dojo type things, and they wanted a neutral ground where they could talk with what they have and exchange ideas without it being governed by anybody. So we would have workshops where we talk tactics or armor building and stuff. 2006. That sounds about right. And I did that then, and I've been teaching. Let's see, Sandra was around. 2012 is when I left the SCA. if my dates are right. I have to double check that. And if I'm doing it, it's an error because I have memory issues right now. But yeah, because I was in 12 years in the SCA. I spent 6 training, and then 6 training, 3 fighting, and then 3 trying to become an MIT. And then they told me I made it up, and I had lied about trying to be an MIT, and they pulled my card for working events, even though they were told the reason the signature wasn't there was the distance. I had permission. Yeah, it was a hefty thing. Yeah, it was before my birthday, but after the 4th of July. I could check things in detail if I really needed to. But yeah, I've been doing this a while. So 2006 to 2021. That's not bad for an organization that's been completely funded out of pocket. Until recently, thank you so much, my Patreon members. And yes, you see me taking off the bracers of power. That's because it is mucking hot, and the bracers of power are not really happy with me right now. So yeah, pardon the repulsive Deadpoolian hands. That happens. But we're gonna snapping and lack of bracers of power, not a good idea. We'll try to remember that. I won't remember that. As things open up in the next few weeks, what? Oh, you crossed over to light fighting in 02. Yeah, that sounds right. Because yeah, I was at the trailer. And yeah, that's when you started light fighting then. That's also when about the time that my buddy Dane was assassinated by that upstart no good scum sucking Lansknecht Ehrenfried. Yeah, I still remember. Just some prunage. Yeah, prunage happens. Thank you. I'm glad people are watching it because I really don't have much of a way of checking that because of the way it's working as a private video. And if you guys have seen it, Sydney, if you've seen it or you don't mind, I'll open it up to the public whenever you guys say you're cool with it. Because we need joy. And what we do is fun and it's for everyone. And that's what's really important. Now, right now, it is, like I said, it's nearly 100 degrees. It's about 80 something in here because I closed the door and the air conditioning doesn't vent. Oh, awesome. Hey, no worries, Cindy. I understand you're a busy lady. I try to put content up or comment in there at least once a week because anybody who knows me, I juggle more irons than a 3-armed blacksmith, but there's good stuff. I'm thinking of a kind of fun thing because I've had people ask about my wall of cool that I refer to when I look back and I gaze over the camera at you, and I don't dare share what the wall of cool looks like at any given point because the copyright strike would hit like thunder and lightning to my core. But I might just share a picture of its current status as it's going to be upgraded, and I need to find where my books, because right now I had to pull it off. I have a whole bookshelf of Brian K. Morris stuff that I need to share, but there's good stuff coming, guys. But yeah, I think if the Patreon members want, I'll throw up a picture of the wall of cool, just as a bit of tongue in cheek to you guys. I gave my niece and nephew Boffers a few years back, and they immediately smiled bigly and wanted to go outside and fight. Yeah, guys, that's what it's all about. Okay, if you find, I live for what I call the Ollivanders moment. For me, one of my greatest joys in life is I've hung out with somebody, I've talked with them and trained, and I find the right weapon. Maybe it's a long sword, maybe it's a rapier, maybe it's a cutlass, Maybe it's a hand axe, whatever it is. You find the right balance trainer, the right length, the right scale, and you hand it to them. And you go, here, is this what you're looking for? And they take hold of it. And the skies part, ah, you know, and it's that moment of absolute beauty. And then they want to go out and just, yeah. Or that, or when you've been teaching somebody and they're learning and there's that hesitance, and then they finally get it. Like that mid fight where it's like, I know what to do. And they start doing without thinking about it. And this grin starts to spread and it's infectious. That's what it's about. I'm not about rank. I'm not about titles. I'm not about self aggrandizement. You look at this face. This is a face made for radio, folks. And while I could sit here and narrate podcast style at you, I've been told people are amused by watching me bounce and gesture and fall over and fight my backdrop. So I got to keep that up. I got to break 5 of my buffers on my eldest son. And one night he was a heavy fighter and goofed up bad. I'm not going to condone that publicly over a feed. Even knowing the situation, even perhaps feeling like I do, in a public genre, I can't condone the clubbing of Tommy Boy, who is since doing very well and has grown up, and I'm very proud of him. But so I'm not going to publicly condone that. But yeah, that's what we're about here, guys. Now, I want to talk to you about armoring. Where the heck is my plastron over here? It is not. I have to redo the new boot cave. It just kind of went boink, and I have to fix some things. So, you know what I'm going to do, guys? For my Patreon members, I'm going to put before and after pictures of the boot cave before I reorganize and clean up the wall of cool, hang some weapons, make things nice, and the hell after the spread that's going to change on my table, because right now my table is an absolute nightmare. And that'll be John, just we're going lowest common denominator. Just club it like a baby seal. Well, unless you're talking about Tommy. Yeah, well that was Tommy, and that boy needed a lot of concussive adjustment in his early years. That sounds so terrible. But yeah, guys, things are going to change around here. And anytime things get better for me, I try to make sure they get better or at least more amusing for you. While we're talking, please, we got to talk basic gear. If you are going to spar, we need to think in terms of what you're using. Even if you're using relatively light weapons, even if you're going slow, please consider groin protection and a plastron. Face protection is important, but groin protection, this is life-saving stuff. It's real easy with the fun of what we do to lose track of the severity of what it represents. So please be careful. Please hydrate. I want you guys in this evening to start going through your drills. I don't care how good you are. I don't care. John just says week went better. Went okay, Foxy. Sorry, didn't just read the feeds. That happens. But I don't care, guys, how skilled you are. John can fight with his eye. Most people with his eyes closed. I still would say you better put a cup in and you better put some chest protection on at least. And I'm saying we have to adjust minimalist armor for safety versus heat. Heat is the enemy right now. So drill at night or early in the morning. We poor Steven. Oh, I know. Go make me feel guilty. I don't want to feel guilty, folks. They're so cute. They're cute baby seals, and they grow up to be big old seals, and then they eat the cute baby penguins who grow up to be big. I'm confused. Why are so many things tasty? But and I know that's going to cause ripples through the chat. That's okay. The irony is because of recent talking to doctors, I'm a dang near a vegan, not by choice, but by necessity. So, yeah, guys, have a burger. Those who can have a burger for me because I can't right now. Don't. I will genuinely feel like an awful human being for allowing the joke, guys. Come on, go easy on me now. Some mercy. Mercy. Yeah, see, they taste good, but my bloodstream has decided it doesn't like it. Uh, so between my new, I'm not allowed to stay up too late because I have to get up early for medicines, and yeah. So don't. It's okay. It's okay. Guys. Don't worry. I'm usually joking. Now we are actually. This is great. I do enjoy these live streams when I get very little done and we talk a whole lot. That we're at the hour break. I just want to remind you this goofy show is provided and made possible by my Patreon members. That's Steve Clausen, that's Steve Augosto, who's been with me since pretty much day one. I owe him so much just because okay, I'm going to tell you guys something. When somebody has $100 and they give you $5, that means something. When somebody has $10 and they give you $5, that means something else. And as tight as Steve Augosto has been, he has never missed a month since it started, and he's really over a long time helped. So I really appreciate him. Foxy and Bladed Thesis, Cindy Kemp. This woman is a walking cheerleader. Brian K. Morris, who, if you don't know Brian, you need to look him up right now. Risingtide.pub. It's one of the two best newsletters out there. The other you'll find at www.ckopp.com. Yes, I would love some pepperoni right now. I occasionally get chicken-based products, occasionally, but it's all about getting rid of the cholesterol. And basically, if it tastes good, it's salty and cholesterol. But and the carbs. So I'm eating a lot of rabbit food. That's okay. But moving on. Ronald Riehn, you guys, I just couldn't do it without you folks. And the people who were, uh, yes, who were donators and had to stop for 2020. I don't begrudge you. It was a nightmare year. If you come back, please do. It would be welcome. But if not, I understand. Yep, chest protection. Get yourself a plastron. They're relatively inexpensive. You can make them fairly easy out of HDPE and some strapping. Buy a cup. This might sound personal, but there are a couple types of supporter. There's a kind that basically looks like bicycle pants that has a pocket to be a supporter for your cup. As a guy, please wear it. They make a female product, known sometimes as a Jill, that can protect the ovaries and stuff. Please consider getting one of those or having skirting over your armor that protect. If you wanted kitty ears, what color? If they were for me, I would either say brown or like a really fluorescent, like old school DeviantArt grade, like fluorescent blue or something like that. Anybody who sees me knows I have a hoodie that I wear whenever I can. That's gray on the outside and it's fluorescent yellow lined, and I cuff the sleeves so that when I'm teaching and it's at night, you guys can see my arms better. So yeah, I love that sort of thing. But turkey pepperoni is good. Both need to be floppy if possible. If we're doing that, But that's an old reference. But now, let's see. So that's your protection. You stay hydrated. Train first with lighter weapons. Train slow, guys. I know. Oh yeah, if you could match the lights, that would be awesome. I'm super geeky, but yeah, pow. Oh, God, I'm such that guy right now. But that's okay because it's fun and we need fun. Uh, actually, really do dig the lights on these. But see, I eat. Look, which one is floppy? The ears? I don't. Both of them usually. Real easy. Go go up. Cervical protection is required. Yes, sir. Well, we're gonna talk uh gorgets too. But this is minimalist starter stuff. I want you guys always fighting in this. I don't care how light it is. And face protection. Buy yourself some masks, guys. They're not that expensive. A fencing mask is around $50. You can find them cheaper, you can find them lighter. Some of the airsoft masks work some of the time, but you need the protection. If you're not sure how to drill, the very first video I ever did, and ironically, it is in vertical format, so it's great for your phone, was me going through the 9 basic guards of the Simple Sword program. I literally formed this channel as a resource originally for members to learn to practice. Ooh, okay, cool. Someday I'll have opponents. Cindy Cap says someday I'll have someone to spar with. Neck throat, gorgets. Now, again, my gorgets are all out to the out of the garage, but I have. Let me see. You guys have seen this. This is the Simple Sword. This is the book that I wrote in case I got hit by a bus, so people could learn defense. In the armoring section, yes, I put an armoring section. I have here. I'm even going to show it a rudimentary pattern and instructions for how to make a gorget. It's a very simple gorget. It is not a fancy gorget. You want to use either HDPE or waxed leather, and you want something that's going to cover your front. It's going to cover your top 5 vertebrae, and have a piece over your veins and arteries. The front piece keeps your throat from being caved in. The spine cover keeps you from having damage to the upper spine, which can come easily from a wrap shot. And I know some of you watching may not know what a wrap shot is, so I will demonstrate with. I'm not going to use Bob the Skull because I like Bob. He hasn't upset me. So let's make a friend here for just a second, and because I'm in a mood. So okay, this is Gary, at least for now. You need you need the armor on the back because where my fingers are the back of his neck and his spine. A wrap shot comes around and strikes here. So if I'm facing Gary, I throw a shot that goes past, wraps around, and hits him in the back of the spine. That's Gary. Now this could be very bad if Gary doesn't have armor. Yes, yeah. Oh, Bob the Skull. I was a teacher's assistant for a long time and a substitute teacher. I have a fake plastic skull that I wrote Bob the Skull on, and I put some basic runes. One of these days, I'm going to put a complete abracadabra on Bob the Skull. But he lives up behind my secondary wave of gargoyles because I collect gargoyles. So I have my first wave over here with Duthulu and Faustifer and all my gargoyles over here. And you have in the back over my stuff is where my main man Horatio keeps a watch because he watches my back, and a bunch of his buddies, along with Bob the Skull. But here. Bye, Gary. Bye. Bye. Okay, I'm a terrible ventriloquist, but that's rest in peace, Gary. You know what? Hold on. Let's see. We're just gonna do this. This is wow. This is some Hannibal Lecter stuff. But Gary's gonna get here. I'm saving Gary's face, and we'll give Gary a bionic face transplant onto something more sturdy later. So Gary will revisit us, probably as a cohort of Lydia, my undead assistant. To those of you who don't know Lydia, well, she's still on coffee break, but after the Shoggoth invasion of 2021, we give Lydia her space. I have an evil undead office assistant. It happens. But yes, and that's how shtick happens on my show. Protect your neck. Gorgets are kind of hard to find period wise, but they're just so ubiquitous in especially like SCA fencing fields. You'll see a lot of quality gorget designs, and I will put some stuff. Gary has some crappy thoughts. Who knows? You know what? I don't know much about Gary. I just know I have no problem doing harm to Gary because he deserves it. So we can project whatever we need to in the form that is Gary, because Gary's just that guy. It's good to name your punching dummies once in a while. You know, it doesn't hurt. But you're also talking to the guy who came up with the tactical tambourine at one point. So you really never know what's going to happen on the Historical Fencing Guild's live stream show. Now, once as the pandemic lets go, we're going to have practices. And I will try to I will record some of the bouts for members who allow me to, so that you guys can watch folks fight. I'm hoping to record and then try to do an audio commentary track over, which I know, while very well, I mean TP. Yeah, he's kind of a poopy guy. But Gary Gary's something, man. Gary is about on par with this stuff, you know what I mean? Gary's not. Can I name it after? Of course. Absolutely. You know, there's a therapeutic aspect to what we do. So yeah. Good evening, Gary. And I love the different spellings on good evening, Gary. Oh, hold on. It puts the lotion on its skin or it gets the hose again. You know, but yeah, Gary, I don't know, guys. I just don't know. Gary has a crappy job, but somebody's got to do it. Somehow I felt like I was channeling Colonel Clink there. Hogan, you know, Gary's constantly being thwarted. It's rough to be Gary, but all that aside, yeah, as you can see, I believe in keeping things serious. Oh wow, I've got some. That's an interesting point. How do you deal with someone who's very claustrophobic or hates having things around their neck? I have this actually very frequently. Either people who this is incredibly claustrophobic, or it's they don't like things around their neck. We have worked around best we can, but I really came to the conclusion that there's a point where if you want to fight one way, I'll help you through it, but I can't have you endanger your safety for neuroses. And we work around it. There are saber fencing masks that have clear inserts, especially for people who have problems with the parallax effect of the mesh. But I really hate fighting with people who don't have face protection, because one of the biggest training scars you get for somebody who's out of a group like Amp Guard, where headshots are illegal, or they're strip fencers who, because of their conventions, don't have to uh, defend certain areas. It can make a training scar. Now, John says a coif, and a coif can be very effective, but you still need a measure of face protection. And we can work with that, but at the end of the day, you kind of have to. We should work through it. If at all possible, we don't paralyze you. So Gorget on the fencing mask did not help keep the foil from going up into my fence mouth in college. Happened twice with the same instructor. Now, part of that is those rising shots. That's where we're going to talk about the hood is so important. I hate. Okay, anyone who has fought SCA hates their hood. If they don't, they are lying. But an undermask hood or an overmask coif isn't quite the right word. I am losing it. Oh, I just fell off my mind. But basically, it's a hood piece that hangs way down and prevents shots from the underside of the neck and this underside of the jaw. Think Timothy Dalton in Hot Fuzz prevention. Is it a coif? Is very necessary, and they're not used a lot in Olympic style fencing. Now, a lot of modern jackets have started incorporating a blade catch, where the collar has a fold like a turtleneck, so that if a shot hits and grazes and slides up, that's just a matter of good engineering, and that can be done. Helm skirt, yeah, but then you have to work with a helm that's breathable, still provides visibility. It can be a complex issue. I still kind of lean hard into getting a good fencing mask. I am looking and planning to buy a fencing hoodie, in part because it's less expensive, and in part because I want that wrap hood option. Also, to add a little slap protection to the back of my neck. Um, I give fairly broad armoring suggestions over a venue like this, but I get very tweaky and personal, not in a creepy way, but like what I know somebody. But I don't like armoring. Yeah. I've seen extended bibs. There are ways around it, and see, anytime I try to go to a different channel, I endanger losing my feed, so I can't really do well here. It's like, what I would really, okay. Let me think. I know ZWA has. ZWA is Zen Warrior Armory. Now, see, the Bishop's collar type, you have to be careful with, John, because that's a gorget that like people who have very short, stout necks need a very different gorget than the people who have longer necks. It is a, because I thought there was another term for hood. Chaperone. That's what I was looking for. Now, there are products that work like this. They can be padded in the impact zone, okay? Zen Warrior has really raised some of their prices, so it gets a little dicey, but like an overhood for fencing purposes can be wonderful, but again, you really need it pot. And yeah, I will definitely put all that stuff up on the fencing. Actually, here, let's jot a note. Oh, that just fell out of. Oh no, that's good because it's Gary Green. I am planning to acquire a dry erase board for just this sort of thing. What? FB public. And see, this is what I love. I love answering direct questions. So yeah, I will put those links, and there are patterns floating around to make your own. Uh, there are all other alternatives. They are. We've had some martial arts actually masks that were clear that worked well with some people, but John, if you could put those patterns in a format up on the Historical Fencing Guild public site so that other people have access to it, it would really be appreciated. Gary is trying to blow away, and I actually wrote a note that I have to fix Gary. But here, okay, we got Gary. Gary is still intact for now, and he will be, transcribed into some manner to be useful. Guys, that's how shtick happens. And shtick happens. Man, that might be a shirt one of these days. Sure. Nick, are you planning something? I don't want to jinx it, but yeah. Please do, John. And if not, let me see if I can do this. I wanna. Is Armor Archive with a U or no? I thought it was. You know what? Let me check. There is a wonderful site that's an SCA resource called the Armor Archive. Yeah, guys. Blighted Thesis said, biggest danger I've ever had didn't occur during sparring. I was polishing and cleaning my swords, and my rapier fell, equaling to nearly. That happens. That can absolutely. You got to be careful. Let me make sure I'm. Yep, it is. I'm gonna send you guys a link right here, right now. Boo ba doo boo. Armor Archive. Yep. Armor www. Yeah, we're at www. YouTube does. Is that S? Oh, that's archive.org. Pardon my typing. Although this rig is good enough, I have to take off the gauntlets of power anyway. .org. Yes. That www. See, I keep trying to miss it. Come here. Thank you. There you go. Yeah, a lot. Mine are based off of the pattern that I learned from a man by the name of Dennis Yakis. Not exact, obviously. And I tweak. I have several different types of gorget. They actually sell. You know what? They sell front only gorgets. A couple companies. I believe they're through Red Dragon. I could send some more. I don't, John. I can't even think about it. I can't think about the loss of knowledge that went with everything that went wrong there. It's too dark a road, and it doesn't do us any good to dwell on it. We just need to build up I love these headphones, but they make my ears kind of gross. Um, and I'm going. This is a fencing supplier that I used to deal with a lot when I was SCA. Uh, but they had to raise their prices, and it's a little stiff for what I do. Though that, like I said, yep, normal. And the reason I'm not just cutting past is long-time viewers will know if I leave my screen for anything, I may get booted out of my own feed. And we've got a lot of good knowledge being discussed and bandied here. So I should have put the HTTP, but that's a good company, guys. If you're looking through Purple Heart Armory, there's a affiliate link. Whenever you go there, please update your saves to go through the affiliate link because I get a little credit if you buy anything. It doesn't cost you anything new if you use the affiliate link, and if it at least gives me credit, to towards making suggestions to them to make better products or new products. So we really need to, and that's what I'm about. I'm about making this is a community, and we're about building each other up. If you watch something where you're all fighting and chasing to who could be the very best, the best there ever was, go catch Pokemon. If or make a bit, and yeah, if you're working, there's nothing better than having somebody in person. Armor is tailoring, okay? If your armor is hurting you, stop wearing it. I love my wife, but she got armor from folks, and Jesse and John were on them, and she would not explain the armor bites. If you are getting pinched and bruised, the armor needs to be fixed. There's nothing wrong with that. And shockingly, I deal with a lot of people who can't buy off the rack. So yeah, we will work with it, and we'll work with tailoring the conventions to be as safe and approachable for you, and helping you find organizations that have that kind of convention. Because some people, really like just light boffery goodness, and they do something like Amp Guard or Canorak, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's also nothing wrong with learning how to use the swords better, especially with the plastidip style of LARP swords are gorgeous, and they are starting to handle less like a pool noodle, like the boffers, that we talk about often, and more like a sword trainer. And it really is a different style of art, and it needs to be acknowledged and supported, guys. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to support and build, things up that will work well to make all this go. Uh, Weaponry, we talk a lot about making weaponry around here, and I have some projects as the trembles leave my hands. I have kind of a couple that are coming due real fast because of associated events. We'll put it that way. Yeah, you guys did a lot, John. I ride on you. I ride John constantly because he has all this knowledge. He needs to write it up. He needs to compile his notes and put it out there. If you do it for profit, good on you. If you do it for free, God bless you and good on you. But put it out there because the work is more important than the worker. I put my stuff out as cheap as Amazon will let me. Yes, my manual is significantly more expensive than the second one because I used color. I don't regret that because yes, it's stick figures. Yes, it's only color in a few areas, but that helps so much in the understanding. And I've had so many people come back and say, this helps me get it. That's what it's for. So John, please write it all down. Write how you did it. I know in the SCA and some organizations, knowledge is a commodity that you trade for political leverage. I understand that's part of the game. But I think and it's part of why I left. That isn't what it should be in a recreation group or an education group. People, my first goal as a swordmaster, as an instructor, is to have people learn to be safe. You got to be safe. Be safe. Be your best. Beat me. Because I am a short, fat, furry little man who walks with a cane. You should be able to beat me at some point and consistently. I'll do my best as you get better to make it harder, but you should. And then by then, hopefully, you respect my opinion enough that even if I physically can't take advantage of an opening, that I can see it and I can help you get back, can help you become better beyond. It may be a case of those who can do, those who can't teach. Yeah, well, they could take a flying and a rolling donut. I'm going to help people get as good as I can while finding ways to help them get better. That's what I'm about. And John, that's what you can be about. Don't let the insidious parts of some organizations encourage you not to share what you know. Because simply you're better than that. And that goes out for everybody. If you know and you can build things up, guys, the only person I'll give myself is black eye. I know a lot of people who've given themselves black eyes from sneezing. Don't worry about Foxy. But I get talking. I'm like, hey, air can come in once in a while. Nothing wrong. And that's what I'm about. Part of it is I have a pathological need to be useful. Seriously. Not pretty, not liked, but useful. What if someone has a trach breathing? Could you make a long leather skirting to be under the I know. I'm just encouraging okay, one, John, I know you share, but it's time you codify it and share it beyond the group, because the group will always try to keep your knowledge as a commodity that they can trade in to bring more people in. And it's more important than that. Now, Sharon says, what if someone has a trach breathing? Could you make a long leather skirting to be under a shoulder tie down? Just curious. He's blowing in the wind. That is an intriguing, and please don't think this insensitive, but that is an intriguing mechanical problem. I would worry about that because the fragility of the area. I don't know if that's a no fight kind of scenario. I'd have to talk to the person and really understand the logistics, because even with a fully functioning breathing person, I believe the maximum length that someone can displace the air out of and effectively breathe through is only like 3 or 4 feet, or they'll suffocate. Sticker shit. But it could theoretically be done. I'd be real dubious about it. It would. There's a lot of hazard there. So it would take a very careful, extensive bit of armoring. And I don't know. I'm going to be honest. That's a. Dude, yes, it would be. The problem with Kevlar is Kevlar breaks down unevenly. Kevlar is great for major one hits and stopping it, but you'll notice once the Kevlar vest is shot, they throw the whole vest away. John has the opinion that yes, it can, and it would be similar to a rescue collar. And John has medical knowledge. I'm going to say For safety and liability issues, I am not comfortable at this time on this venue saying that it could be done. It may be able to be done, but I'd really need to study it. And this might shock you from a male of my age. It might shock you from someone who's an internet personality. But I'm comfortable saying I don't know, and or I need to think. And that's a real puzzlement. And the problem is, if I suggest something, that could be very, very dangerous if something goes wrong. And I don't. That's a lot to put. And like I said, please, if you think I'm copping out, I apologize, but I will always err on the side of safety, not just for my opponent, but the safety of my channel. And if I go and I say, yeah, sure, go out and do it, and somebody gets hurt, there are disclaimers, but I'm still going to feel bad in my soul. So be very careful. I would consider a lot more research. A hasty, easy answer may not be the right one in this one. And that is the problem, because there are some things where it can be very. I can see the mechanics. I really can, Sharon. It's fascinating, and it's fascinating. And like I said, as I can step back and go, yeah, engineering wise, the mechanics are. It has to be a stabilized breathing tube. Can't be much longer than this, but I don't. You have to worry about O2 input, getting the CO2, the carbon dioxide out, and not getting tangled or blocked up by fabric. Plus, all of it would need to be able to take not just impact, but potential shifting. Uh, yeah, and please, like I said, please don't take me wrong. It's not that I don't know what I'm talking about. It's that I I can I can. The problem is I understand enough from working with special needs and geriatrics as a DSP uh, that I'm I'm unqualified to fully go in that where I feel safe with it. And again, I am sorry, but I'd have to talk to the individual. Now that I've had to deal with people. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I will say I'm really uncomfortable discussing it on a public recorded forum where liability could be a real issue on me. I hope you can understand that and get the depth of what I'm saying here. Uh, it's I need to study it a lot more. Uh, layering. See, the problem is impact. There's still whatever you layer, maintaining breathability at the end. Because I've done skin dive. It sounds weird. I'm combining a lot of things. Skin diving, and different snorkel rigs, and dealing with trachs, and I'm more worried about a snag. I'm more worried about a snag. If his doctor uh help me out, I'd basically have to look at the plans that are in place and make suggestions that way. But I'm just like right over here, just out of the blue over. I would not be comfortable risking somebody's health without me really knowing, one way or another. But we can talk about it. I don't want to pull any HIPAA violations here. I don't want to know more. I don't want to accidentally expose somebody's uh, information without it. And I am not in any way, shape, or form a medical advisor. I want to show you guys something because I've had to break this out in a long time. But John, at this point, I am going to suggest that any conversation you have on this matter be offline private, because it's still there's still, like, this could bounce back. And yeah, I can see the mechanics. I'm not happy with the potential fragility without a lot of thought. And I would, like I said, meeting offline and discussing it might be wiser for everyone involved. Well, off this thread. I want to help this person. But like I said, the first thing I say is safety, safety, safety. And John was an EMT. He is not a doctor. He is not a nurse. So I don't want anyone misconstruing his statements on this channel, in this feed, as giving medical advice. What I give is basic sports advice, if that makes sense. This is not me saying anything. And I'm actually, this is, yeah, see, if John would just write a dang book. The disclaimer I have in the Simple Sword, I'm reading it out loud, and then we'll hold it up to the page because we are that serious. Contained within this volume is an instructional guide to a martial art. Martial arts, by their very nature, can be dangerous. Any attempt to perform the techniques within can possibly lead to injury or death. The writer, publisher, and retailers of this book deny any liability to harm to persons or property which may occur while attempting the techniques described within this book. Please consult your medical care provider before attempting any exercise or martial arts program. I am actually... for the people who've seen this, I don't think I've ever had to flash this on the screen. But I am not a medical care provider. I will help you talk armoring and stuff, but I won't. This is too close to being dangerous, guys. So we have to be careful. And I know, and please don't think this is a shot at you, Sharon. This is certainly not a shot at John. This is part of what I do to help serving people. I have to be very careful about a certain level of back coverage, especially the lower area, that makes my jeans look good from behind. Yeah, that all has to be covered. And thank you. It is a great question. I do hope that help can be provided and further discussion can occur. I just want to be very, exquisitely cautious about the venue and what happens. I've had people on other programs ding me, Nick, you're always too careful about these things. Yes, I am. I can't afford to be sued, guys. So if you two want to talk offline, cool. I don't think I can stress being careful enough, but I probably don't need to. So a lot of what I am saying right now is for any third parties watching this video to understand what's going on. Could somebody use archery shooting gloves as hand protection? That depends on what style you're fighting. I used to fight at one point in doe skin archery gloves, complete with the 3, but it was full hand coverage and it was leather. It prevented barb cuts. It prevented things. Yeah, rose gardening gloves. I love welding gloves. If you're not sure, they're a little cumbersome, but they're actually padded a bit. I like those. Mechanics gloves, tactical gloves. And it depends what conventions you're doing. Sorry. Well, yeah. See, I had gauntlets up here. I also used. I got these wonderful. They look like white cavalry gloves for years that I used when I was dirt biking. They had leather and then rigid canvas almost up to my elbows. They were great. Yeah. Yeah. That well, John says you need to be careful it's feasible once. John, I'm now going to formally ask you to take that off. I get your points, but it is time to take that subject off the live stream because I'm seriously considering it to be a potential legal liability issue, John. I want to help her. I want to help your friend, but we have to be careful. Okay, I've been working with them offline. Good. I'm not telling you to not do it. It's just we live in a litigious society. I have to really be careful. And John, I love you, but you're a big guy who tends to bowl through certain situations and leave yourself vulnerable. So, not trying to be harsh, and I hope you guys don't think I'm a harsh guy. This is me actually being protective. This is the same thing when I tap somebody on the shoulder. Okay, you guys are getting a little heated. You need to split, or you need to drink water. That's the same mentality that's going on right here. So take it there. Be careful, guys. That's all. That's all I can say. And again, I don't mean to offend. If I have, I am sorry that I offended. But caution is something I will always lean into. But yeah. So getting back onto things. Wow, this has been fun. We here have we guys, and this is great because I do love that we're helping each other and we're solving problems. That's what we're normally about. We just have to be careful how we do it, guys. Uh, in the coming weeks, I want to go over a full. Yeah. If both of you get on the Historical Fencing Public Guild, you can private message all you want. I just have to be careful because I've got YouTube breathing down my neck on some subjects, and I can have Facebook breathing me down on others, and I got to be careful. But what I want, actually, I have seen dog armor. It's not that hard. It's just a matter of retailoring it. Now articulated leg armor is a little dicey, but if you look up military, hold on. It's funny, dog barding, exactly. It's period. They actually used to make armor for dogs when they were training them to fight bears and lions. Thank you guys for getting that. I hate that I have to pull it down and kind of bring out serious Nick voice, especially on a Friday night. But yeah, dog barding is a period thing, and it's totally doable because it's basically you got your chest plate, you've got a articulated back plate. Okay, pop tabs are fun. Now I wouldn't fight with them, but they're great for fantasy. Thank you, and I like Sharon. Please appreciate. Thank you for your understanding and understanding the vulnerability of my position, being the guy whose face is on camera. I really want to help, and I know John might be able to help. I just got to be careful. God, I sound like such a chicken, but that's just the reality we live in right now. Uh, well, he's a teeny weeny little guy. Who, the dog? Oh yeah. Oh, I can't remember Dead Dave's real name. Uh, let me actually. Oh no! That's awesome. Let me talk. Foxy, message me on Facebook direct because we are Facebook friends. And thank you, Sharon. I really do appreciate it. Yeah. Uh, message me. I know somebody. through a couple people from Arcticon who did custom pop tab armor. Beautiful stuff, and always was looking for challenges. If I can, and again, this is me. If I can put you two together, you might be able to get better. It's not one I've done. I've not done a lot of the pop tab armor, but I do know some people who have done that, and John has too. Yeah, sometimes there'll be an incident like this where you go, wow, what happened to Nick to make him that jumpy? And understand things happen to me to make me that jumpy. And if I'm being that protective, like, this isn't me protecting myself, basically, because all I've said is I don't know, it might be able to be done. I'm protecting John because he's a dear friend. But yeah, you can chainmail. I have seen actual plate mail made for wiener dogs. I lost the dachshunds. I've actually seen chainmail made for dachshunds, and I've seen somewhere period mail made for terriers and other ground dogs who were engaged in going after things. Well, we call him Lord Rembut, Duke of Barconia, so he needs armor. Absolutely. Somewhere I have a little puppet, a puppet mouse. I have to find where Monsieur Le Squeak is, but I made fencing armor for him. Yeah, it's all doable. But yeah, chainmail would probably be an easier route, either real or, as you said, pop tab. I just, like I said, I might know a guy, see me offline because I can't remember his name to make the connection. But we are nearing the end of the show. I try to stop at 2 hours just because I need to be able to get up out of this chair. And yeah, there's some amazing stuff. Guys, this has been a great, talkative, passionate, educational video. This is, once in a while, it's nice. Usually I come with a very organized platform, and sometimes, you just skate it and see what happens, and cool stuff does. I hope all these side projects work out well. If you are interested in some of what I was talking about, or the gorget pattern in the back, yes, please share pictures on the guild public group. Consider the simple sword. This is part of how I fund this, and more importantly, this is how I get the information out there for folks who want to learn the basics of sword fighting. We are. I'm sorry. Wow, this was just a very insightful, deep one that went places I didn't expect. If you're interested in axes and how to make a safe axe trainer, please look into the Fighting Axe. Both of these are available at Amazon.com/author/Nicholas Talker. That's me. Or look them up by the title, The Simple Sword or The Fighting Axe by Nicholas A. Talker. That's me. I am a proud member. Wow, my high-tech graphics are sliding around because my Lucite broke. I'm a proud member of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. And so look up these videos. If you are a comic person, especially the Rising Tide Broadcast Network is where to go. Guys, we got off topic a lot, but into some specific neat things, and we got off where I wanted to talk. So I'd like the people who are on the Facebook public group write up some questions, especially overlapping gaming and swordplay, because people have been talking about that, and it gives me more to work with. Guys, it's just been great. It's great fun. As the world opens up, we're going to be fighting more. I'm going to be doing more demos. Hopefully, I'll get some live sparring matches for you guys to see. I want to thank the newer folks who came out, Elric, and I want to thank Sharon. I know challenging topics, but I'm glad we could handle everything so calmly and maturely. That's a good sign. That tells me that the group is growing well. Cindy Cap, it is my honor and pleasure to host this adventure. And guys, thank you. If you want to help us keep the lights on, even $1 a month at patreon.com/the historical fencing guild. Please like this video. A lot of work and thought obviously went into it this week as this group got going. Please share this. I think, again, this is good commentary, and this is a good example of how to handle challenging commentary, because we're not always going to have agreements. We're not always going to have easy issues. Thank you. But good. I would have signed off and been worried I offended you guys because I'm that guy. Yeah, guys, look each other up. We're a good bunch of people. Neat stuff is coming. I have some exciting plans. I just have to get things approved and get past some NDA stuff and some other odd bits. But keep up. And before I forget, Red Valkyrie Presents will be doing a RPG playthrough kind of scenario. For the people who missed it, I will be running Basic Fantasy, 3rd edition, I believe, which is basically what 3.5 should have been, in my opinion. And come out and see us there. Otherwise, be good to yourselves. Keep your guard up. Stay hydrated. Stay caffeinated. And as always, support your local Swordmaster.